What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 10, Thursday Night Football.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
Okay, in this video, I'm going to give you my top picks for the Thursday Night Football Showdown between the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Oh, and good news, guys. Make sure to stay tuned to the very end of this video because we removed the box that was popping up and blocking the lineup. So now you can see a full lineup using these picks that we made in this video if you stay to the very end. Okay, guys, let's take a look at this Thursday Night Football Showdown between the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. So at the quarterback position, although he's expensive, he's got a huge ceiling in this game. So I like Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens playing the Miami Dolphins, who have the third worst defense overall, and they give up the fifth most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson has averaged 27.3 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 12.1 rush attempts per game. He's going to be about 88% owned, projected at 25.5 fantasy points here tonight. He's $13,800 DraftKings salary, and Vegas thinks there's going to be 46.5 points scored in this game, with the Ravens favored by 7.5. So Lamar Jackson's got a great matchup here tonight, and he scored 36 fantasy points last week, and he had 21 rush attempts. That is an unbelievable amount of rush attempts for a quarterback. So Lamar Jackson might be able to run all over the Miami Dolphins. He is expensive, but I think it's going to be tough to fade Lamar Jackson here tonight. So I like Lamar Jackson here versus the Miami Dolphins. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. I like Myles Gaskin from the Miami Dolphins playing the Baltimore Ravens, who have the 8th worst defense overall, and they give up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Myles Gaskin has averaged 12.2 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 9.6 rush attempts per game and 5.1 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 30% owned, projected at 13.7 fantasy points here tonight, and he's $9,400 DraftKings salary. Now, Myles Gaskin, he scored 17 fantasy points last week off of 20 rush attempts and 6 pass targets. So that was pretty decent volume. Well, that was great volume, but I am a little bit concerned that the Miami Dolphins are going to fall behind in this game and be forced to abandon the run. So although Myles Gaskin does have a good matchup here, and his volume has been pretty decent over the past 3 weeks, getting close to 20 touches or more for the past 3 weeks, I'm a little concerned about this pick. But if you are going to play a running back on this slate, I think Myles Gaskin has the best chance to score close to 20 fantasy points here. So I like Myles Gaskin here versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I'm just probably not going to play a Ravens running back, but if I did, it would be Devonta Freeman from the Baltimore Ravens. And the Miami Dolphins, they give up the 14th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Devonta Freeman scored 16 fantasy points last week off of 13 rush attempts and 3 pass targets. He's going to be about 17% owned, projected at 9.1 fantasy points here tonight. He's $6,600 DraftKings salary. Now, with the Baltimore Ravens expected to take the lead in this game, this actually could be a pretty decent play here, save some salary on this pick. And Devonta Freeman has scored 16, 13, and 11 fantasy points over the last 3 games. And he had he had 16 touches last week. So that was a pretty big spike in volume. So now that I look at this a little bit more, Devonta Freeman is looking pretty good here at only 6,600 DraftKings salary, because chances are he's not going to be game scripted out of this one. It's probably going to turn into a running game script for the Baltimore Ravens as they take the lead over the Miami Dolphins. So I like Devonta Freeman here versus the Miami Dolphins.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. I like Marquise Brown from the Baltimore Ravens playing the Miami Dolphins, who have the 3rd worst defense overall, and they give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Marquise Brown has averaged 20 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 8.6 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 34% owned. He's on the field for 76% of the snaps, and he's projected at 16.5 fantasy points here tonight. He's 11,000 DraftKings salary. So Marquise Brown, he's got a great matchup, and he's been on fire the past couple of weeks, scoring 24 and 19 fantasy points off of 12 and 14 pass targets. So I like Marquise Brown here versus the Miami Dolphins. Okay, now for my favorite play on the slate, I like Jalen Waddle from the Miami Dolphins playing the Baltimore Ravens, who have the 8th worst defense overall. And although they've been pretty good versus opposing wide receivers, Jalen Waddle has averaged 13.6 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 8.8 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 47% owned, projected at he's on the field for 83% of the snaps, projected at 14.5 fantasy points here tonight. He's 8,200 DraftKings salary. Now, with the Miami Dolphins expected to be trailing in this game, I'm going to look for double-digit pass targets to Jalen Waddle, who scored 16, 7, and 15 fantasy points over the last 3 games off of 10, 12, and 8 pass targets. So I like Jalen Waddle here versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, another interesting wide receiver is Rashad Bateman, but it looks like they might get Sammy Watkins back here tonight, which could eat into the pass targets that Rashad Bateman has been getting over the past few games. So that gives me a little bit of concern. Now, you're going to have to save some salary somewhere on this slate. You know, so far it looks like all these picks outside of Devonta Freeman have been pretty expensive. So you're not going to be able to fit all these guys in unless you save some salary. So I'm going to be looking to save some salary with the Miami wide receivers. And a guy who looks like he might be a decent pick here is Mac Hollins from the Miami Dolphins. And he scored 11 fantasy points last week off of 6 pass targets. He's going to be about 15% owned, and he's only 4,200 DraftKings salary. So I'm expecting the Dolphins to be passing the ball quite a bit this game. So I like Mac Hollins here versus the Baltimore Ravens.
Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. Our NBA tools are awesome. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Now, if you want to get a little bit risky, or if you just want a deep sleeper pick and try to save a ton of salary, take a look at a guy like Preston Williams from the Miami Dolphins. Now, he's only averaged 4.1 fantasy points per game on the season, and he was getting an average of 4 pass targets per game, and it looks like he's now back as a wide receiver 1, and he's on the field for 46% of the snaps, so he should get some pass targets this game, and he's only 200 DraftKings salary. So this is a deep sleeper pick, but if you want to save a ton of salary so you can stack all those studs into the rest of your lineup, take a look at a guy like Preston Williams here versus the Baltimore Ravens. Super high risk, high reward play, but I think he could be that deep sleeper pick that could be in the winning lineup if he can catch a couple of balls, and if he gets in the end zone, no doubt he's in the winning lineup. So I like Preston Williams as a deep sleeper pick here versus the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, let's take a look at the tight end position. I like Mark Andrews from the Baltimore Ravens playing the Miami Dolphins, who have the 3rd worst defense overall. They give up the 12th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends, and Mark Andrews has averaged 15.8 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 7.6 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 72% of the snaps. He's going to be about 30% owned, projected at 14.1 fantasy points here tonight. He's 8,800 DraftKings salary. So I like Mark Andrews here versus the Miami Dolphins. Now I also like Mike Gesicki from the Miami Dolphins playing the Baltimore Ravens, who have the 8th worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Mike Gesicki has averaged 12.7 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 6.9 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 72% of the snaps. He's going to be about 42% owned, projected at 12.3 fantasy points here tonight, and he's 7,400 DraftKings salary. So Mike Gesicki's just got a stellar matchup here. I'm expecting him to get double-digit pass targets in this one, or close to it. So I like Mike Gesicki here versus the Baltimore Ravens.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video, or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.